Felix Salmon. Analysis and Opinion Home. Opinion. Felix Salmon. Followed Felix. Dan Loeb's doomed Sotheby's campaign. Felix Salmon. October 4, 2013, 16:58 UTC. Activism. Dan Loeb is going to lose his latest fight, at Sotheby's. That's because it's a Sony, not a Yahoo. To recap, on Monday, Loeb filed his broadside against the auction house, where he said that he holds a 9.3% stake in the company, and called for the resignation of Bill Ruprecht, its chairman and CEO. It's worth comparing Loeb's letter to Sotheby's with his May letter to Sony, or his September 2011 letter to Yahoo. The tone of Loeb's Sotheby's letter is significantly harsher than the tone he took with either Sony or Yahoo. In those cases, while he was critical, he avoided getting personal in the way he's doing with Ruprecht. Loeb's latest attack, by contrast, concentrates on things like Ruprecht's salary, and the amount of money managers spend at swanky restaurants, juicy details, to be sure, but hardly of strategic importance. That kind of ad hominem attack was never going to be well received, and today's Sotheby's announced, to no one's surprise, that it was retaliating with a classic poison pill defense. Translating from the corporate speak, Ruprecht is telling Loeb, quite simply, you want a fight. Okay, you'll get a fight. Loeb concentrates on Sotheby's' competitive position with respect to Christie's, which is owned by French billionaire François Pinault. Pinault is an avid collector of modern and contemporary art, and he has turned Christie's into a powerhouse in that sector, which also happens to be the hottest sector of the art world right now. Loeb knows the art auction business about as well as he knows the music business, which is to say that he knows what's hot, and he wants to ride the trends. Sotheby's' success, he writes, will be defined in large part by its ability to generate sales and profits in contemporary and modern art, as this is where the greatest growth potential lies. Sotheby's is no slouch in that business. Just today, it announced that it is going to sell a major Warhol disaster painting, which is very likely to set a new auction record. Warhol's record could easily be broken, and even possibly the all-time auction record as well. The announcement features some classic auction house hyperbole, saying that Silver Car Crash Double Disaster takes its place alongside paintings such as Pablo Picasso's Guernica and Theodore Géricault's The Raft of the Medusa as one of the definitive masterpieces of history painting. But it actually stops short of the kind of language that Christie's employs in its own press releases. Here's the announcement of Christie's own Warhol, which will appear alongside a big Koons sculpture and be sold a day before the Sotheby's Warhol. Christie's evening sale in November will offer unique dialogue between two masters of pop, Andy Warhol with Coca-Cola 3 and Jeff Koons, with his balloon dog Orange. Two different generations of pop artists standing side by side. Andy Warhol is the father of everything we know about pop art and Jeff Koons is his anointed successor. Both create objects which are totally universal and loved by the public, truly popular in that sense. Bizarre capitalization in the original, along with the subtle, and untrue, suggestion that somehow Warhol anointed Koons as his successor in pop. Warhol's aside, it makes sense that Sotheby's, as a storied company being run to last in perpetuity, should naturally behave differently than Christie's, which is a billionaire's plaything. Indeed, when Loeb first revealed his interest in Sotheby's back in September, I thought that was his endgame, that he was looking to shop the auction house to some other billionaire. Bernard Arnault, perhaps, or maybe even Larry Gutjochan. Monday's letter, however, shows that Loeb is thinking about keeping Sotheby's public, while attempting to oust the current senior management. That's a move akin to central bank currency interventions. You need a lot of firepower, and you also need the trend on your side. In this case, Loeb's arsenal has already been seriously depleted by the poison pill defense, and shareholders aren't particularly likely to want to side with him. Not when Ruprecht's performance has delivered a share price rise from less than $30 at the end of last year to more than $50 today. If you look at the success of Loeb's strategy at Yahoo, it was based on applying astonishing leverage. With control of just 5% of the company's shares, Loeb first managed to get himself multiple seats on the board, and then used those seats to astonishing effect, overriding the chairman's preferences, and effectively installing his own nominee as CEO. The person who could achieve the fastest run up in the share price, after which he could exit with a large profit. In order to execute that kind of strategy, your relationships with the company and its governors can't be personal.